We're all coming out this Sunday. I know the weather is a little windy out there, but it's like the first day you've seen sun in about a week, so that won't be too long today. We actually have a good bit of stuff to pass out to all you guys. Did everybody get a chance to get some cookies, drinks, chips? Okay. Feel free to help yourself. There's so much back there too. Seniors, you got your cookie cakes back there, so enjoy that as well. Will it make it out of the parking lot? Will it make it out of the parking lot? Okay. So just want to start a little bit about a season recap and thank some people first before we get to passing out some stuff. Sorry, I made about 12 papers here. But I'd like to take a moment to thank some people before we begin. Namely our board, Nicole, Kathy, Danielle, Matt Brantley, my wife Kelly, and then Jenny Panone actually still does our books, and she's not here. But I really appreciate all of the effort and time that you guys have put into making stuff happen. If you've noticed that we have awesome facilities, we have new singlets, new warm-ups. Nothing was not provided for the team this year, and that really goes a lot onto the booster club, making sure that everything's taken care of. So really appreciate all the time that you guys put in. It's kind of a thankless job sometimes, lots of long hours and early mornings and everything, but I really appreciate it. The Fiorenza family, also again, those weekly pictures and videos and YouTube clips and flickers and everything, they're all available for download. I posted every single one of them on the website this year. They'll stay up there. Actually, last year's, and I think maybe even the years before, are still on there too. So really appreciate that. Like I said, they're free to download, save them, print anything off that you want, but they're there for you. And then lastly, our coaching staff. I think we have everybody here except, Philip's not here. But Coach Brown, Coach Stu, Coach New, Coach Brantley, Coach Wismark. Will Mason is actually not here today. He's actually at the hospital with his wife that just gave birth to their first baby. So they went old school, didn't know what they were having, boy or girl, and it ended up being a boy. So he said that he'll get a singlet ready soon enough for him, and he'll be ready to go in Lassiter colors. So, but he wishes all of you the best, and can't wait to do a little bit off-season work with you guys. In front of you are the QR codes. If everybody see them at your tables. They'll send you to our banquet program, which I did post on our website also. There's a lot of good pictures on there, stats, next year's schedule, all kinds of everything that I'm going to talk about today is really in that PowerPoint or that PDF on there too. So just follow along. And then, like I said, if you do want to go to our website, you can save it, print off whatever pictures you want. You can print that whole pamphlet off. It's there for you guys. So, but as far as our accomplishments this year, in the past couple years, last year, we've kind of had a target on our back because we won an awful lot. And honestly, at the end of the day, looking back at what we accomplished this year, we were, in my opinion, one of the most, if not the most successful team in Cobb County. We didn't win the county tournament, and we didn't win a region tournament, but we sent 5 people to state, and 5 people came home with medals. We finished top 6 in the state, which is the highest finish for a Cobb team. Isaac kept the streak alive. There's been a state champion in Cobb County wrestling since 1964, every year since 1964, okay? He was the only state champion. So, in terms of success, we accomplished an awful lot this year. So, on our banquet flyer, I highlighted some areas about our accomplishments. So 3 county champs, 4 region champions, 10 sectional qualifiers, back-to-back years where every single person that we sent down to Macon came home with a medal. 1 state champ. We're 6 years straight now with at least 1 state champ, and no other team in Cobb County can say that either. So that's a pretty big accomplishment. Let's just keep it rolling, okay, year after year after year. 6th place traditional finish at state. We had our all Cobb County coaches meeting a couple weeks ago, and we got 3 individuals selected to the first team, 1 all county second team, okay, in boys, and all county second team in girls, and then Isaac was named the Cobb County Wrestler of the Year. So out of all the wrestlers in Cobb County, and then we also have 3 all county honorable mentions as well. You can see our stats on there, our win category, our falls, our takedowns. We use MatBoss, and I'll talk about the managers a little bit later, but it's an iPad program that keeps track of everything. We have escapes, reversals, near falls, anything from the past 7 years. So I have that all archived, so later on down the road, if you ever need anything from me, I have all your records and stats. And Lassiter and its admin and teachers take a lot of time speaking about grades and academics and being competitive and taking honors and AP classes and doing whatever you can to get yourself to the next level. So actually, in terms of our varsity GPA, it was 3.487, which is exceptionally good. Our overall team GPA with JV figured in was 358. Okay, that's basically everybody on the wrestling team qualifies for the Hope Scholarship, if you look at it that way. So, we have students in here that play 1 sport, that do 2 sports. We have some in here that even do 3 sports. So to be able to maintain that type of academic standards when you're playing a fall, winter, spring, winter and spring, fall and winter, whatever, multiple sports, it's a lot of work. So that, the wrestling accolades are great, but the wrestling trophies and the wrestling medals will only hang up in your room for so long. The grades and diplomas and everything else will get you where you need to be. So in terms of success this year, we did it on the mat and we did it off the mat as well. So give yourself a round of applause, guys. This year, if you want, you can find on our website under documents is our criteria for lettering. And there's a point category that goes in with how many matches you wrestle, how many varsity wins you get, how the quality of wins, whether it's a pin or a tech fall. It all goes into a different spreadsheet and adds it up, and that's how we determine who is JV and who is varsity. But if I get a coach, maybe help me pass out stuff here. We'll start with our junior varsity award first. So when I call you up, if you would all just come up and create a line, we'll give you all of your certificates, we'll get some pictures, and then we'll move on to our varsity awards. Okay? JD Frank. AJ. Colin. Unfortunately, Tex and Magnus had a family illness, so they had to leave out of town, but Tex and Magnus's certificates, I'll get them to them during the week. Rohan? Brody? And I did want to take a minute to speak a little bit more in depth on this one. So Brody, if I could have you come up here for a minute, please. So last year, Brody was given our Underclassmen Impact Award. He was a place winner at the Cobb County tournament. He was a sectional qualifier. He did a heck of a great job on the mat. Unfortunately, back in September, he had a knee injury during football that ultimately we thought we were going to be able to rehab and get him back on the mat. As soon as he was cleared to wrestle, it lasted for about 10 minutes until it popped back out of place. So ultimately he had to have surgery. I did want to give you some props though. I mean, you had the decision to just walk away, be done with us for the entire season. But Brody made the decision to come work with us, help out people in the room, He was communicative all year long. His grades are tremendously different than last year. You're basically just a new person, so I'm proud of you. But you're going to have to be on the mat again next year, so get some strength going in that meeting. So, this is our junior varsity class. We're looking forward to working with you guys in the off season and making sure that you're in the starting lineup next year, okay? Okay, so for our varsity certificates, our varsity awards, we went ahead and we put everything in envelopes for you, okay? Because if you're a multiple time letter winner, all you're going to get is a bar. And I find all these bars on the floor after everything. So if you're a multiple time letter winner, you get a really big envelope. Right? New letter winners, you'll actually get the L, the wrestler insert. If you're a varsity athlete, then, and if you meet our scholar criteria, you'll get a scholar athlete badge. I honestly, all the time I've been here, I don't know what the school's cutoff range is for that. But when you come up, you'll get your varsity certificate, and Coach Brown will find you your envelope too. But if anything is incorrect, if you're missing anything, let me know, and I'll get it taken care of for you on Monday or Tuesday. Okay? Jaden Sylvain. Silas Armour. Mark T. Gunner. Nahe. Riley. Jake. Dom. Isaac. Vic. Jax. Carter. Jensen. I feel like the last 2 years I've always been kind of forgotten all of Okay, guys, this is our varsity lineup this year. Don't lose your bars. See you later. How many of you turned the envelope upside down already? Oh, yeah. See? All right, guys, congratulations. It's the All-State Academic Team. Okay, this is separate from the Scholar Athlete Awards that Lassiter does. This is for the entire team, JV or varsity. And there's some pretty impressive numbers on here that I'm about to read out to some people. Rohan has a 4.233 GPA. Dom has a 3.767. Jax has a 4.083. Jensen has a 4.150. Jake, you gotta take one more honors class. Jake has a 3.944. And normally, I would think that this is a pretty high GPA, but he gets smashed by his teammate. Carter has a 4.50 GPA. And he needs to do a little bit more homework because Isaac has a 4.576. So again, our varsity lineup had a 4.58 average GPA, which would essentially qualify the entire team for the Hope Scholarship. So good work, guys. Wow. So we've done academic awards from Lassiter. We've done academic awards from the Georgia High School Coaches Association. And we also do academic awards from the wrestling program itself. And this is any wrestler with over a 4-point GPA. So I won't have you come up again. I'll just have you pass. But Carter Brickley, Rohan, Isaac, Jensen, and Jax. Okay. I had a coach years and years, this had to be 25, 30 years ago, tell me that at award ceremonies, when you start spending more time talking about academics, it means that you really didn't perform athletically, which, I mean, yeah, looking back that there are some coaches that will do that, but we did a pretty amazing job in the classroom and out of the classroom this year. So lots to be proud of in terms of athleticism and performance in the classroom as well. Teachers are exceptionally proud this year. This was a really good group of kids. As head coaches, we always are the ones that get the emails first from teachers and admin when athletes aren't doing what they're supposed to do, whether it's being late to class, not behaving for teachers. I didn't get really anything major at all this year. So you all have a lot to commend yourselves for, your behavior, your attitude, your work ethic. Just keep making the wrestling program look good around school. Okay, I'm sure that you're all aware that there are some programs that maybe don't have the best image at times, and it's more of a culture thing, okay? And I feel that you guys have a really good culture about you. Okay? You get along well with each other. After tournaments on Saturdays, you guys are always finding yourself at Waffle House, doing some food damage there. Hope you guys are good to the waitresses. How much did you tip? 20,000. 20%? 25% out. But again, I just like the way that you interact with each other. When I see you in the halls, you're talking to other wrestlers, and we didn't have any conflict inside the wrestling room this year amongst you guys. So you did a really good job, and I'm proud of you. So I do want to move on now to our coaches awards. And again, at the end of the day, if we were able to recognize every single person on the team for something, I'm sure we could, but we did select just a few that we wanted to individually recognize and go from there. So our first coaches award goes to Casey. So those of you that are new to the program this year, Casey's been wrestling a really, really long time. Last year, I think on a good day, what were you?
79.
79 on a big day. Okay? This year, we finally broke into the triple digits. I think towards state, it was 100 point, what? You ever read 101?
Yeah, I think it's at 102.
Oh, 102. Let's go. Okay. So we've been saying for the longest time, you know, when you're full grown, when you're like a full 106, okay? He's going to be a bully next year for people, okay? You know, last year, it was super hard, weighing 79 pounds, wrestling 106, okay? Even at the end of the year, when you start getting allowances, Christmas becomes 108, first day of region becomes 109. By the last day of state this year, it was 111, okay? So that's, when you're giving up 10% of your body size, that's a lot. And he is a totally different, like I was talking about Brody, different from last year to this year. He's a totally different person last year to this year, okay? And next year, the rest of, actually we're 5A next year, the rest of 5A and the whole state better watch out for this guy. Our next coach's award goes to Nahe. I was going to order a bigger award where they could fit your whole name on there. Okay. So Nahe is new to us this year. She's not new to wrestling and to combat sports. Okay. Who are some of the people that you were trained with in the line? Some of the clubs. DJ Penn, you heard of him? Okay. Yeah. So Nahe, now she'll tap you out if you're not paying attention. She's a scrappy wrestler on the mat. Ended up finishing third in the county, was a sectional qualifier, and unfortunately came down with an illness a couple days before sectionals, and that ended her season. So we look forward to getting her back on the mat next year, beating up some people. Congratulations. Goes to Dom. Don likes to choose the most difficult long path possible, and he puts the work in. Okay, Dom's been in the program since a while. So he was a junior state place winner for us. His brother wrestled for us, was a state placer, and Dom finished 5th in the state this year. Tremendous work ethic. Like I said, he chooses the path of not the easier path sometimes. It's much more long and difficult path. But if you saw the match that he beat, the kid from BT that beat him the 2 weeks before, there was a lot of emotion at the end of that match. So congratulations. So Isaac has won every scholar award that we have today. Okay, he's the Cobb County Wrestler of the Year. He's a state champ. And also, the Cobb County coaches voted him to get this year's Adversity Award. And Isaac's the fall of your freshman year, correct? He was at Level Up doing some club work and came down wrong on his shoulder and broke his collarbone. So in the process, managed to mess up a lot of stuff that was going on in there. Last year, had a great season, finished 5th in the state. This year, the shoulder issues started to become a little bit more substantial. We were keeping him bandaged up in braces left and right. He would pop out during practice. He would pop it right back in and just go right back to wrestling. During the state finals, it popped out. If you watched at one point, he was returned pretty hard. It popped out, he got up, moved it around, popped it right back in, and went out and got his hand raised. So a lot of adversity. I can 1000% relate. He is way tougher than I am. But the last day of summer vacation, I dislocated my shoulder, and I did not recover nearly as quickly as he did. Carter and Jackson can tell you that story. It was a fun ambulance ride and some surgery afterwards. But Isaac managed to put together a pretty substantial season with one shoulder. Okay, and that's a lot of work. To win a state title with basically one arm that functions 100% is a big deal. So you'll be getting that award from County Bank as well. Okay, and then our last special award is our Most Improved Award for the year. And this individual, I keep saying, the big difference between last year and this year, Brody from last year to this year, Casey from last year to this year. This individual looks like a totally different athlete from last year to this year as well. Last year, he was a JV wrestler. This year, he qualified for the sectional tournament and made the All-Cobb County Honorable Mention team. And we still get 2 more years with him. Jensen. This is our Trojan Warrior Award, and it reads, this wrestler has shown integrity, leadership, courage, humility, teamwork, which reflects greatly upon himself, his family, and Lassiter. His selflessness and work ethic are an outward reflection of his desire to accomplish excellence. We had a lot of excellent times and wrestlers and people in the program this year. I keep saying we did really well on the mat, we did really well in the classroom. I get a little emotional. I'm not gonna cry. This person really put the work in this year, and I didn't make it easy for him. Okay, when you have to actually go home and live with your coach, it's not a very easy thing. So there were times that we butted heads a little bit, but at the end of the day, he was 47-5 with a 4.5 GPA, and second year as state runner-up, and I think has his sights set on being top of the podium next year. Carter Brink. Yeah! That we hang up each wrestler's name that wins it. So last year's winner was Riley. Before that, it was Anthony David, and then Anthony was our first one. So you'll join us. Okay. So next, I want to recognize our managers. I think a few of them didn't make it, so I'll have to get them their stuff. Genesis one. That is it. Okay. So if I could get Jocelyn, Madison, Cameron to come up, please. So the managers, this is kind of the most thankless job that you could possibly have in all of sports, whether it's wrestling, football, any sport, no. Okay, managers are the ones that are constantly filling up coolers and taking care of cleanup on the mat and filling up mat spray buckets for me and videoing every match and running around, and they have just as long as days as the wrestlers, except they're not out there getting their hand raised and winning wrestling matches. They're doing everything behind the scenes. So all of the Mat Boss stats that we put on the newsletter each Sunday, all of the videos that were recorded for you for your matches, that's all they're doing, okay? I think next year we are going to get some tripods though to maybe stabilize the picture. Any of you get motion sickness watching your matches this year? Okay. But no, you did a great job, and we are definitely going to miss our seniors in Cameron and Jocelyn. Okay, Madison will have to step up as our head manager next year, although I heard she's not very good at fishing. Yeah. But again, girls, congratulations, and I hope you enjoy your Snuggies. Okay, have you been using them? Okay? There might be one for you next year. Catch some fish. So, all right, congratulations, girls. For this next award, I'm going to have some people come up stand with me and say a few words as well. Okay, so when I came here 11 years ago, I was introduced to a family, the Metzer family, that had a son, Kevin, that wrestled here before I got even to Cobb County. I had never had the chance to meet Kevin personally, although from listening to Kathy and Rodney and everybody else that knew Kevin, as well as Coach Day, the former coach here, Kevin's story is pretty incredible. He was a football player for Lassiter. He was a wrestler at Lassiter. He won 2 region championships. He was an avid weightlifter, and unfortunately was diagnosed with leukemia. That battle had its fair share of ups and downs. Kevin, at one point they thought that it had gone into remission, and he enrolled at UGA. And unfortunately, the disease came back, and on Christmas Eve of 2009, he lost his battle with leukemia. So the Metzer family, from then on, has given each year a scholarship to a wrestler that they feel is a good reflection of Kevin's personality, his ambition, his drive, just everything that Kevin embodied. And the thing that made it so difficult for me at the beginning was, since I had never met Kevin, it's hard for me to pick a wrestler that meets all of those criteria. I didn't want to give the award to just anybody because we gave it out each year. So honestly, there were, I believe, 1 or 2 years that we chose to not give the scholarship award out because it didn't actually reflect Kevin's values. And after presenting the award for so many years and getting to know the family a lot better and talking to Coach Day about some of the things that Kevin had done, the decision for me has become a lot more easy each year to make sure that I give the award to the correct person that really embodies what Kevin was about. Those of you that have been to some of the banquets in the past, I'm sure you remember when Kathy and Rodney would come up and talk about the award. Rodney is never at a loss for words, okay? Just the personality that he brought in. He was always so excited to see my 2 boys because he met them when they were this tall, and now they're this tall. But he was always asking about how they were doing. I always get text messages throughout the year from Kathy and Rodney, just seeing how the wrestling program's going. Unfortunately, this past July, Rodney also passed away. We went to the service, and just so many former athletes from Lassiter, coaches, his kids that he called. It was a really nice ceremony and a way to recognize Rodney for everything that he had done. Kathy was unable to be here today too, so she did have some family come, and I believe that you want to say a few words as well?
Definitely right about Rodney. He talked all the time, and he was about this tall. But he gave so many kids like yourself so much, and just raved about it. Now, my wife and I live in North Carolina, so we didn't get to see much of Kevin wrestling and playing football. But all that he gave during those times was everything he had. He constantly trained. He constantly talked about and loved it. And then he talked about his coaches and his family. Definitely Rodney and Kathy, I mean, they'd love to be here, but it just didn't happen that way. So just keep doing what you're doing. You sound like you bunch of smart kids, that's for sure. And I bet you got some great parents, right?
Thank you.
This is Tim, Rodney's brother.
I'm Rodney's brother. Yeah.
And his wife, Kathy.
Sorry.
I'm Kathy, there's 3 Kathys. My son was Kevin's best friend. And he was my son. Never a weekend went that he wasn't at my house. This kid never met a stranger. He exuberant strength. So you guys live your lives with tons of heart and tons of strength. And every day you wake up, persevere, fight. That's what he was about.
And really, that's what this sport is about too. You know, you chose the most difficult thing that you could possibly do. You know, not to downplay any other sports out there, but when you make it through a wrestling season or a high school wrestling career, literally everything else about pales in comparison. And the fact that Kevin was a wrestler and gave such a strong fight towards the battle with leukemia, I mean, growing up as a competitive athlete gave him a lot of that determination and willpower and just fight against it. Okay, and we see that in a lot of people. You know, I'm talking about Isaac sitting here that wrestles an entire year with his shoulder popping out. Okay, that's what you guys are, and that's why we do this sport. Okay, and I think that this year's recipient of the Metzer Courage Award 1000% embodies that competitive spirit and just toughness about him. I'll call him up for Riley. So now I'm going to sit and brag on Riley a little bit. And some of this is athletically, some of this is what I'm talking about with the Kevin Metzer Courage Award. Much like his brother, Riley was not a really big freshman either. Okay, he gave up a lot of weight and a lot of size, and his freshman year was cut short with COVID. Half of the matches were canceled. It wasn't a very fun year for him to come into high school wrestling. His sophomore year, he came in and finished 5th in the state. Last year was a state champion, and this year was a state runner-up. And I did want to take a minute to talk about that last match, and I know that it will bother you and it will eat at you for the longest time, but you can't base your career off of one match. So if you look in the senior pamphlet, I put some of Riley's career stats on here, and 159 wins. That ties him for the second most in Lassiter history. 107 pins, 344 takedowns, 1,157 total match points scored, 3 Cobb County championships, 3 region championships, 2 sectional titles, 3 state medals, including a state championship and a state runner-up, 3-time Cobb County Wrestling Association all first team, last year's Trojan Warrior Award winner, and a 2-year black shirt, which is our version of being captains. And that's a lot what I'm speaking about in terms of good leadership. If I needed something done, I go to the black shirts. Okay, it's an easy way that they can talk to the rest of the team, get the information passed out. Well, Riley was great. Okay, you're working with the guys in the room. He's one of those guys that's going to be irreplaceable next year. We hate to see you leave, but we also hope that we get to see you in a singlet again. Okay? So, no pressure. But again, I can't think of a better person that embodies just the true essence of competitiveness and toughness than this individual right here. So, congratulations. Very, very much longer. I did want to go over a few things in the future. So if you'll scroll to the last page of our banquet program, is next year's schedule. Is just the varsity schedule. I've not put together the JV or the girls schedule yet. Okay? But it's pretty competitive. The way that the year works out with this being a leap year, it kind of messes with the start and stop dates a little bit. So normally we open up each season with the Trojan invite. I thought that November 9th was a little bit too early for that. So we're going to do a scramble on the opening weekend at 9th and Archer, just to put guys in a couple pools of wrestling, get some matches in, and then we'll get into our tournament season starting the following weekend here. The Trojan Invite has become one of the best tournaments in Georgia. So I had about 1 million teams email me this year. So instead of doing 18 teams, we're going to do 25 teams next year on 5 mats. It's a lot of work. It's a pretty big undertaking. Madison, come on, don't face palm over that. She's my favorite. I'm sure you can convince Cameron and Jocelyn to come back and help you, maybe even Diana. Okay? But it's going to be a heck of a tournament. I got 25 teams, including us. There's some competition coming. We get the Battle of East Cobb again at Walton. Buford Invitational. We're actually going to go to Buford twice. In December 14th, their Aaron Kirkland Invitational. It's two totally different sets of teams, so we'll get to see some different people. Going back to the tournament at Lambert. So all in all, there's about 60 to 62 possible matches next year for a varsity lineup. So if you're in every single varsity match, every tournament, every duel, you have the possibility of wrestling 60 or 62 matches. Which is a lot, but I think that the benefit, that's what we had this year, and it worked out well for us. I have set some stuff out as far as spring, summer, and fall wrestling. I know we already have some people that are planning on doing some spring wrestling, some freestyle. We do have some spring sport athletes, which makes it difficult, but about 3.3 miles down the road that way is Level Up Training Center, and they do their freestyle and Greco seasons running through May. I believe the state championships are May 11th at Life University. And then the cadet and junior duels will start up then through USA Wrestling. The cadet duels are in Utah, and the junior duels are in Oklahoma, or in Tulsa. We have a few wrestlers going to the NHSCA Nationals in Virginia Beach over spring break. Our summer practices will start up back in June. Those are in the evenings from 6:30 to 8. And then we're also taking a group of kids to team camp at UTC. So that's open to everybody. You're more than welcome to go. I'll get more information out about camp and all that very, very soon. On March 22nd, though, we're going to have a meeting in the wrestling room. I kept pushing it back. It was supposed to be this week, and then it was next week, and then it was in my classroom. And we're going to do it in the wrestling room, March 22nd in the morning. Those of you that don't know, our football coach will be joining our staff next year. So after football workouts on Friday morning, he's going to bring all of the interested football players down too, and hopefully, we get back up to 30, 35 wrestlers on the roster next year. Just like trying to tap into some other sports as well. Fortunately, with the GHSA coaching rules, I can't do much in the spring, but as soon as the last day of school hits, we can do all the wrestling together that we want. In the fall, I can do 4-on-1s. We'll do a little bit better job getting that going, making sure that people get plenty of mat time in before we actually start back up. So as much wrestling as you want to do in the off season, it's available, okay? And it's obvious, those of you that put the extra time in, you get the benefits of it, okay? There aren't a whole lot of wrestlers that I know that go out and win state championships that just wrestle from Halloween until Valentine's Day. Okay, that's usually the wrestling season that I do. But if you want to be on the wall, you want to be on the podium, you got to put that extra time in. It's just like with everything. I know I sent out a couple of my newsletters. If you want to succeed, work harder. It's true. Okay, if you want to do better in the classroom, study harder. If you want to get stronger, lift more. If you want to become better wrestlers, wrestle more. Okay, so as much as you want to do, it's available. At the end of the day, I think that we have a pretty good group of kids that have done the extra work in the off season, and let's just keep that train rolling, okay? Next year, I want to get back up on the Cobb County Championship. This year, for the all Cobb County teams, we decided to do the ink in the school color that wins. And this year was North Cobb, so this year's shirts will be navy blue and orange writing with the wrestlers' names on the back and everything. And it was funny because the Hillgrove coach goes, man, those will look really great next year in silver and maroon. And it was on the group chat, and I just kind of sat back for a while, and he goes, I can't, he was a little, keep this between us, he was a little perturbed that Hillgrove didn't get Cobb County Team of the Year over North Cobb, which I don't know. And then he said, next year, I can't wait to watch Hillgrove steamroll everybody in the county. So I'm just leaving that out there, okay? That's where we're at right now. And I just sat on that coaches chat just reading it like, oh, there might be a few East Cobb teams that have something different to say about it. So use that as a little locker room material between now and next season, okay?
We
We do have, are we doing our booster club?
can't
can, but I want to do something else first.
Okay.
65 more, 57 to 2 plus. Yes,
Lassiter wrestling family. I can't even imagine how many hours, I can actually imagine, and I don't want to do it, how many hours you put into the program outside of what you have to. You and Kelly do so much, and so we just wanted to appreciate you and make sure you share it with her.
We did plan on this being our March Booster Club meeting, so we're gonna do a quick, literally call to order for 3 minutes, and we're gonna talk about our needs for next year real quick, and then we're gonna adjourn. Okay.
Awesome. So, first of all, great year, guys. It's been a really, really fun season to be part of this program. And we have had some excellent board members. Unfortunately, we're going to be losing some, and then also in the years to come, we'll be losing some of the people who have made such an amazing impact on this program. So we need some help. And we are asking you to help us to continue to run a really excellent program that does so much for these kids and allows them every opportunity for success because they don't have to worry about anything except getting out there to wrestle. And so there's a few positions that we are hoping to train for this year because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I gotta tell you, Kelly showed up at my house on a Friday night with like 7 tons of food to do concessions, and I was like, hold on a second, that is just too much for one person to do. So we're looking for 2 people to help with concessions so that it's not such a gigantic job and that it's something that you enjoy doing and that you can really help out the kids and the rest of the family. So we're looking for 2 concessions people. We also are looking for someone to help with our hospitality.
Yes, yeah. Concessions, hospitality, eventually treasurer.
Right.
and-
Anybody at QuickBooks?
Yeah. And none of this is vacancies next year. This
Right.
is all, again, backfilling for following years. So we do have some 8th grade parents that will be coming up as
Mhm.
freshmen next year. So we're going to recruit them as well. So if y'all know anybody else or if anybody's interested, again, this is kind of shadowing for next year, helping out. Again, extra hands always help.
Yeah.
So that we don't go quite as insane. So
We're just
anybody
planting
wants to-
seeds.
yeah.
Anybody that wants to raise their hand, we'll take all the help
Yeah.
that we can get. And we definitely just, it's fun to be part of the program. It's fun to be part of like the impact and like kind of putting the program together. You know, and Matt's done a great job with Kelly's help, but still, it's a great opportunity to give back and to provide a great program for your kids. So
Yeah. And
reach
it
out
is-
to us if you're interested.
And it is good for it to be kind of a rotation, so I think like the lacrosse program really does kind of like 2-year rotations. And so I would like to kind of get it to be more like that, where it's, you know, people not having to be in it forever. So
So this is my 4th year. Does that mean I'm not?
not us a lot.
Okay. All right. Anyway, thank you so much. Thanks.
And meeting adjourned. So last thing, if you would, please don't leave without taking some pictures. Seniors, make sure that you take your boards. Everybody take some cookies and drinks and snacks with you. Take some pictures with your coaches. And I will see you in school tomorrow. Good job, guys.